Hello and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2 with me, Neat, and we are back in Venice 2.0. And in the last episode we worked on putting or redoing our bridge and our water taxis because we had an issue where they couldn't get underneath the bridge, and they now can. We still have an issue in that my original plan was to be able to have small water boats that could travel between all the canals, which would be the absolute ideal. But unfortunately, I think unless they create either mods or an expansion pack where we can modify the type of vehicle, which at the moment I don't think we can do. I think we've only got these kind of quite big cruising boats. We're a little bit stuck, these passenger ships as it were. And if we have a little recap of where we are, we now have 7,000 people travelling via public transport, 3,000 of which are travelling via boat. So clearly it is a worthwhile mode of transport, even if there's only 10 people on this whole boat. It's currently 32 on that one, wherever this one's going. Let's have a little follow and see where this one's flying off to. I mean, they're just such ginormous boats, aren't they? I mean, why would you... Oh, it was a bit bumpy water. But to me, it's just such a big boat. But the city's starting to really build up a little bit, albeit an ultra-modern... a bit wobbly. But at least we're not jumping over a bridge, which is what was happening. It would be really interesting if I can recreate a Venice, say in a year's time, if they put all the expansion packs and the mods in, and we can actually make a Venice that is Venice-like rather than having to use kind of the vanilla bits and bobs. And then this is our more, I suppose, our touristic area. We've got the harbour at the front. Then we've got a cemetery, which I'm kind of using as a park. We've kind of got the EU mixed housing, the castle, and then two giant statues and two old buildings for like touristic purposes. And I think that's all building up quite nicely. In the last episode, we also put in our tram lines, which again, if we just recap and have a little look, we've got 1,300 people using our trams. We've currently just got 2 tram lines running, basically running from this area here, our kind of residential area, all the way up to our touristic zone. And yeah, so far our city is growing in quite nicely, but we've got quite a few gaps, and I don't want gaps. I want it to look very pretty. I want it to feel very much like Venice, where every space that can be utilised is utilised. It's all very cramped. So we've just done a little bit of zoning in to have a look at what comes in, and this has all been done as kind of commercial streets, which I think actually, coming off a boat, you kind of expect to see a load of shops as you walk along kind of the harbour front, and then reach a couple of parks in front of some housing. And similarly along there, I think that's kind of more realistic. I think that looks really, really good. It's like a little mixture of everything. Still need to fill in a few gaps. And then over this back side, we were just having a little look at what else we could zone in. I had a little look at the offices. And the problem is the high density offices, in my opinion, just don't look right. I think we're going to have to switch them out for commercial, because those are just such tall buildings, and I just think it doesn't go with the vibe of the rest of the city. And then we've got this bit of rail line that we just need to fill in the spaces on our first proper full island of Venice. And I think personally it's looking pretty decent actually, despite the traffic incidents. But you know, there's not much we can do about traffic. People just need to be discouraged from driving, which actually is something we can do because we are yet to zone. So we're going to zone this whole island. Oh. There you go. So that island is now zoned. And it is Vermont Way. And I think we'll just call it... actually, we'll call it... because this is kind of like the touristic entrance, basically, more than anything for our Venice. And let's just see what we can do. So we can do combustion engine ban, are forbidden from entering, which we'll see what that does. And then that one does trucks and heavy vehicles are banned from entering. Yeah, I think we'll just try the combustion engine ban and see what happens with that. Whether that's going to encourage people to use the train in. And then we do need to fix the train. And we've got 11,000 residents living here, which is just amazing. All living in this one little bit here, rather than the new bit of the city, as it were. Now, in the original Venice, every inch is kind of covered. There isn't a lot of green space, and I don't know whether we try and build up around the train and almost get rid of... So I don't think we need all of those anymore. We'll see what happens there. Whether or not we can get away with putting like an alleyway, potentially. So I don't think we're going to need a long one, and then connect that down there. And then again, if we do one here. Is that going to make that smaller and more attainable? No. We'll get rid of that road. And let's zone in some... I think you don't really want to live there, do you? So I think if we make it shops... And that's all going to be shops along there, and that will make that fatter. And then we've just got this little space in here that we can potentially fill in either way. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a bit of greenery, and we can fill it in with trees and stuff. But yeah, this is our first island that's almost fully filled out, which is amazing. And I think that's going to all look really, really good. We've got an issue with vehicles, and I think the issue is that we haven't got enough of them, basically. If we go to trams, we've got 13 trams and 2 trams. Why have you got 13 then? Let's have a little look. Maybe because you're going further. Wonder whether I need to purchase another tram stop. Let's have a little look. We've got 15 out of 15 trams in use. So yeah, whether or not we just need another tram stop. But we'll leave that as it is. So despite the issues with traffic, our actual traffic itself sits at 82%, something like that. So our traffic flow is actually very good. Our crime rate could be better. It could be better. Our fire issues are okay generally. Parks, everything's fine and dandy. Hospital cover is okay, and the health of our citizens is sitting at 69%, so everyone's really healthy, and generally, yeah, things are going really well. So what I want to do in today's episode is work on this second back island, our more residential island, to really grow our population. And then the other thing I want to do is actually connect a train line up with the mainland over here, because at the moment our only train connection are from the 2 outer areas, which means the people that are living over there in the low density can't actually get into the city. So that's what we're going to do first, is put in a train station over this side. So we now have a train line from the mainland and Venice, which is going to help all these residents that live over here to actually be able to, get into the city. And we also have a load of demand for low density housing. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of actually build up this area and make it into a bit of a hub. So that is a 4-lane road. I think we're going to make a little bit of a city area off of the back of here. Now starting to supply our mainland with proper built up area. I know we've gone for really tall offices, which probably seems a bit extreme, but we are going to build up this area as well. Well, actually we will change it for low density for now. Sorry guys. And then we need to put in some more housing off of the back of here, so just to connect the dots, and that's going to fill in quite nicely and build that area up, make it seem a bit more, I suppose, normal. And then that's going to help with our demand for medium and high density, which is what we want. So as I said, now that we've got our train line in, let's actually just have a quick look at that. So we've got 4,000 people using our trains, and that's from mainland to Venice. We're going to change the colour, we'll make it green, and we've got currently, we're going to make it free. We've got 250 people using that already, so that is fantastic. And our city's grown quite quickly actually. Even just looking at this, all the houses have pretty much grown in straight away for this whole area of mainland, which is just fantastic. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of those guys being there. Let's change that to, yeah, low density shops, and then this bit can build up as we go back into the mainland there. So now that we've built up that area, we can now work on this area. And the first thing I wanted to do was actually move where the high school is, because you can probably see the train looks dire. So let's just quickly shimmy him around. And I was hoping to squish him in there, because that bit I've already made flat. And then this bit we can fix. Just wondering whether we can like fit another little road in, but only an alleyway this time, around the back of the school, maybe. Is that going to work? Problem is you're not going to attach to that for some reason. Why? There's no water there, darling. You've got a skate park, and then maybe doing another road down the back of here. There we go. And that kind of is exactly what you'd expect. And then we can put some more car parks, the big ones, right there. I think would make perfect sense. So people that are going to the school or going to the football stadium can go and park. And then you've got the back entrance. So is that the front entrance? That's the front entrance. And then you've got the back entrance out to there. Okay, cool. I think that looks a lot nicer. And you've got people already driving to play some tennis, and we've got some trees and everything already in place. I think that's going to look really nice. Love it. So this whole area is kind of more our residential zone. We also have had some issues with crime, so I'm thinking we put in a police headquarters in this area. And the police headquarters is kind of a huge building, but also it looks amazing. And you probably would expect it to be nearish to like the school and the more residential areas. So I'm just thinking, where do we want to place him? Somewhere where he can get into... Let's have a little look at him. We can always move him. Oh, that looks really good, doesn't it? It's just whether we make the police area a whole complex with... Oh my god, look at that. Bloody hell, that's ugly. Thing is, you wouldn't want the prison in Venice, would you? Let's be honest. And that just doesn't look like it's part of Venice. So I don't think we'll make a whole police complex over here. But other than the puddle of water, but that's going to go away. And it's got plenty of parking. And this would have just 60 employees. You have to be laughing where they're getting their numbers from. Absolutely beyond me. So we've got our police headquarters. What does the fire station look like? And this whole area is actually pretty well covered for now. So I think we'll leave the fire station. But equally, police and fire, let's just... Why not have a little look? Why not? I was like, I'll leave it. And then I'm like, no, I want to have a look at it. They kind of look well together, I think. You kind of might expect a police station and a thing to be near each other. It's just how he sits there doesn't quite work for me. We will get rid of him for now, I think, is the answer. But we will look at it in the future. So our police headquarters has some extensions. It's got jail, which you would want a kind of jail. It's got an expansion there. It's got a helipad. Okay, so it is only the one. Do you pop it there? I don't know. Well, I popped it there now, so I haven't got much choice. I mean, it does something. Kind of. Oh, I wish I could. I'm going to have to delete him all and do him again. Sorry. We'll go again. There we go. Right. You kind of want him to sit somewhere then where the path... It's just learning where the path is. Doesn't seem to matter, does it? You just don't want it to be somewhere that's in your face. We'll leave it for now. And then we've got this area, this road here, that should connect up to it, really. Let's be honest. So... that's what I would expect anyway, is it would all link up like that around the edges. It's probably not going to let me now, is it? No. So we now have our police headquarters in a really good place. It's got a helipad as well to serve the whole city. We've got our high school, which is doing amazing. We've got an elementary school that has a capacity of 1,500 and we've got 1,500 in the school. The others are doing fine, so we just need to do something about our elementary school. Now, we've already got the full expansion. It's, do we put in another school? Now, what I'm thinking is actually putting a school in the mainland, because you do not have a school yet. And maybe having that coming off of, I don't know, one of these areas here. So now this whole area on the mainland has actually got supply of all its goods. We're going to do its extensions, but we won't give this one a football ground. We'll just leave the football ground for now. So that should supply the issue with our elementary school. Garbage piling up. Okie dokie, we'll have a little look at that in a second. So let's go back to school capacity. And there we go, 1,000, there's 3,000 spaces now. So that should fix that issue. Yeah. Just whether we can get away with... There we go. I'm starting to make it look a little bit more realistic, other than the issue with the glitching and the thingamabob, the system. Well, ignore that bridge. Okay, that bridge, there's a slight bump. There's nothing I can do about it, so suck it up, buttercup. So we now have all our major services other than a hospital, and if this is going to be our main residential island, I think that's what we need to look at next, is a full-on hospital. Which again, where do we put it? I mean, there's a lovely big bit of space there, there's a big space here. I don't think we want it by the high school necessarily. And we've got our little thingy school. I think we could look at it being, yeah, maybe next to the post office. And then we can build up around it, make it look a little bit more believable. And that should be more achievable. We've got 2 lots of parking next to the hospital, which probably is a bit more realistic. And now we just need to build up this area. And I've already done some gridding of like how I want things to look, but we need to do a bit more. How that grows in. Oh, look at all this. Oh, it's not that bad. Look at the traffic. Ever since we zoned it, I think that has helped with the traffic issues, because everything... we've still got space for more car traffic work, but most of it is moving smoothly. It's just trying to figure out where to go with it, isn't it? But it's not holding back. So I think that's quite a success in my opinion. That whole city's going to look really, really pretty. And even from here, I mean, look at that. Like, we'll ignore the poop in the distance, whatever's going on over there. Backed up sewers. Let's just have... Okay, we've got more issues with sewers. Okay, let's have a look. Sewage treatment ain't doing so great. So let's add another one in. And then again, now he's okay. And if we look at our water treatment, we've also got this water treatment plant, which I don't know if we've got down anywhere. Let's pop one in. And whatever that does, what does that do? This is an advanced water pumping station. Okay, so that's a just like one of those. And then this is a treatment plant that's going to help reduce pollution. Now, whilst that's growing in... Oh, I think it might have already grown in, actually. Look at that. I like that. That looks good. Very nice. And I think ideally I want to keep the whole city with the same-ish vibes, even these bits. You can probably see that that just doesn't look right in my books. The only thing I wanted to do differently is just pop in around this bit these ones, and then the rest I'm gonna make all that media in. So whilst that's growing in, we do have more demand for industry, so without further ado, let's grid ourselves out some industry. Let's just check the way the wind blows, which it all blows that away, which is fine, to help serve our city. And then we'll do the same around there. And then we've also got more demand for offices, and I'm thinking if this bit's going to start to become more built up, more kind of city-ish, let's just... And this whole area doesn't have shops other than that bit. Now it's just whether we do a shopping district on this island. Let's just have a little fiddle. Probably going, Sarah, what the hell are you doing? I want to see whether we can make this area a whole mixed zone. Probably not. But we'll see. This whole area doesn't have anything much in the way of parks, so let's just do a little jiggery pokery around. A fire? Fun enough, we actually do not have fire stations and all of that mumbo jumbo, so we probably want to do a handy we put a little there we go. What have we got? A traffic accident or just traffic? Okay, it's traffic because everybody's moving into this mainland, which is getting pretty big and pretty built up. We've got all the low density residential, and then it's starting to build up into more high residential back this way. Let's have a little recap of our school capacity. Again, our elementary school is very nearly on its way out again in terms of not enough for our population, which I just think is so strange. All the others are absolutely fine. In fact, we've only got 148 people going to high school out of 2,000. We've got 540 and 400 going to university, which I just think is very, very strange. We are going to zone this area now. So this is going to be our mainland. And we'll pop in another high school. Let's just have a little look at what we've got. We've got speed bumps. I think that's going to be good. We're going to encourage recycling. And we're going to just have them more likely to look at, you know, residential stuff. I think that's going to be a good mix for that area. And I think, as annoying as it is, we're going to have to pop another high school in. Not high school, elementary school. Just to meet capacity. Apart from this one won't have any of the extra gubbins. It will just be like an overflow high school, I guess, is my thinking. Yeah, look at that. And then we've got a traffic jam. Well, it's not really a traffic jam, is it? But we've got, oh, maybe it is. Basically, we've got people moving in because this area is all filling in quite nicely, as is this area. I'm doing a bit of a trial. I'm doing all medium density housing there. I'm doing the EU mixed. And then I want to do a shopping district, which I'm thinking to make like this area the shopping district. So we'll jump in and do that whilst it's all building in. And then the last thing we're going to do today is just finalise the university area. So let's have a little look at what we're going to do with this road, because we need to find a way down from up here. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? And then that makes it into that area. And because this is going to be a shopping district, we are going to do, I suppose, wider roads. Maybe if we continue that road all the way straight down there. I'd just love to be able to connect. But we've got the same issue as always. Everything's in water, apparently. So it's like you come out one side, you come out the other side. Or maybe instead of doing the curve, we just do a straight. It's probably going to be nicer, isn't it? If we do straight. Yes, I think that's going to look really good. Supposedly flowing everywhere. Let's just have a... What's the wrong thing if we put anarchy? I see, yeah, it's not going to fit. Never mind, everybody, we had dreams and the dreams disappeared. We can fit, however, 2 large parks, and if we get rid of that... How does this park sit? I thought it sat... This bloody thing never fits in very well, does it? Why are you complaining of water? Is everything else complaining of water? Garbage is the issue in the distance. Which, to be fair, I can see why there would be garbage issues. I think it's the bridge that's doing the water pipe issue. No, we've got water supply. Oh no, we haven't. There we go. Now, it's just a shame. I don't want to mess with widening the roads again because I think it's only going to cause issues. So we will find another place to put the nice parks. Instead, we're going to make this our shopping district. So without further ado, shop ahoys. We will find a place for you, my love, I'm sure. Just where? Over here? I think that could look quite good. And then if we connect up. Garbage. So we've got an issue with garbage piling up, and that's the last thing we'll finish. I know I said we'll do the university thing, which we will do, but I think we'll do that on a whole other episode. So if we just look at our garbage processing status is absolutely perfect. We have one recycling centre, but he's struggling to reach everywhere. We've got, well, we haven't got a recycling centre. What have we put down? We put down the processing site, which is why it's processing at an amazing rate. But yeah, we haven't got anything like a recycling centre. So without further ado, we'll pop one in. And we don't have a landfill. So that recycling centre should now... Storage extension. I put it in a weird place, but it's fine. He can now go out and I suppose fix the garbage issue. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And we've got a lack of high skill workers. Well, I think the high skill worker issue is purely the education. If we look at our population, we've got 4,000 people out of 5,000 potential jobs for highly educated, 2,000 out of 2,100 for highly educated. If we look at our population, we've got 5.6% unemployment, and most of them are adults. Yeah, it's just how can we encourage people to be educated, I suppose, is the challenge. I imagine the issue is the fact that the only way across is all of this, you know. They kind of have to go around here. There isn't a train. So a future video will look at, I suppose, improving access to our college and our university and building up this area, making that look better, making it more desirable, and potentially looking at like underground trains, because we can't, well, we could potentially put another train, like a mini train station in on this side, I think could be possible, whether or not we'd like that. So this is our main island now, and just look at it. I think that's looking so much better than I thought I could probably get it, to be honest. It's looking nice and built up with lots of greenery, lots of parks. We've got some tree-lined areas. Just, yeah, even these little commercial buildings, they're all looking really good. There is traffic, but it's steady flowing traffic. In terms of our trains, we've got good utilisation of our trains, and then we've got our more residential area, which is building up wonderfully, and this will just continue to grow as our population grows, and then that will hide like the hospital and things like that. And then we've got our EU mixed area, which personally might be my favourite type of houses, how they all interconnect. I think that just looks really, really good. And I think, yeah, it's starting to come along. And then finally, we've got our shopping district, which currently nobody, oh, is that way? Have I done the wrong? No, I've done the right ones. Just nobody wants to be all built there right now, which we'll see how that goes. Is that just because of access, do you think, maybe, that people don't want to? Maybe if we upgrade it. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there, whether anything actually builds. There doesn't seem to be a reason why it shouldn't build, just that it's not wanting to right now. So that's it for our development of the city for today. I think hopefully things will improve, particularly the garbage piling up issue should just start to fill in. and it's starting to really look more built up now, isn't it? I mean, we're almost at 30,000 people, which is incredible. And if we just have a quick glance before we finish at our public transport, with 34,000 people travelling each month, most of which are our trams and our trains. We've got 17,000 people on the trains, 12,000 on the trams, 4,000 on our water taxis, and about 300 actual taxis. We will figure out what's going on with our shopping district next time, because that's strange that it's not growing in. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and our much needed expansion of the city. I think next time we will work on our university and college area to improve demand for highly educated workers, and we'll fix this commercial area. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye.